example, the star players, right? And they get all the credit sometimes, and the star leaders in every area. There's like the star people that get the credit, and some do a really good job of sharing that credit, and the organization thrives. So is there a way that we can promote people to be an individual contributor? It's okay if you don't want to lead, you can do that, or at the same time get people to understand that, yeah, some people, there's a 80-20 rule, and some people are going to do more, and they're just more talented in this area. Let's support them because it helps the organization in that way. And they also deal with some other challenges, like the best CEOs or the leaders have to go to some maybe interviews and have to do some of the things that the regular contributor, the regular team member, they don't have to do that. So maybe sharing overall the pros and cons of all the different positions. I'm just like brainstorming here, but I wanted to get your take on how do we make it cool also to not be a leader?
I like the phrase, one of the psychologists we interviewed, he said, you got to be spiky. And what he meant is that if you and I were looking at a graph and it showed all of these traits people have at work, right? And it could be specific, like excellence in coding in this particular language, or it could be excellence across things like hard work and curiosity, just all of these different dimensions. You need to be spiky in a couple ways, meaning you have to be distinct. You have to have this desire to excel, but it is not across everything. This gets back to the prior point. None of us are great at everything. And great teams are made up of complementary spikiness, including the leaders on that team who have to be accretive or additive to the team. It's no longer sufficient just to say, well, I'm looking at all the rest of you. I don't need to contribute anything else other than I'm looking at you. Everyone needs to be spiky. Everyone needs to be accretive on the team. What we also researched for the book, it was these 4 distinct styles: fixer, artist, builder, strategist. And it was also 3 common kind of foundations or pillars that we saw across these excellent leaders. Okay. And the first one was doubling down. So this urge, this will, that as people were advancing in their careers and to see how they were wired, you know, that if someone was a builder, they loved taking small teams, earlier products and services, putting system and process and people into place and taking it to scale. But we saw those builders then at that point wanted to go and do it all over again. Well, that kind of do it all over again is a doubling down inside your own highest and best use. So we saw doubling down, right? We also saw a superior ability to collaborate, which gets to your earlier point, which is to say, great collaborators, it's not just talking about it, it is that everyone becomes worthwhile and contributing on the team. And we don't all need to be in leadership roles. You know, there's a famous story about Google that an engineer at some point tried an experiment, which is that when search results come up, what would happen if you highlighted, you bold-faced the result, you know, from the original search term. Tried an experiment, and it caused a 400% bump in you know, what was viewed as the most favorable results. Well, Google at the time was a $5 billion profit organization. This was fairly early on. So that one engineer, I don't know if they were in a leadership role, probably not, caused Google to become a $20 billion earnings organization. He made Google 4 times more valuable from his single actions. You don't need to be a leader anymore to be a valuable contributor. And again, to the other point, this is not all about leadership. The forms of human genius and excellence are are infinite. You know, we cite one example that it fascinates me because this is something I'm terrified by, which is skateboarding. And, you know, on Google, you can read any how-to on anything. And so there are very detailed tutorials. Alejandro, do you skateboard?
I used to. It's funny that you ask and mention that, because I used to when I was a teenager, and I would do whatever. I think like at that point you don't care. And then I tried it again as an adult. I said, well, maybe I could do a little bit of exercise. I remember doing this, and I was scared. I don't know if you're a little bit more conscious. I don't know if you heal way slower than what you used to, but I could not do it. I just like, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to fall. Like the cars are coming, too many things are moving. I don't, yeah.
Well,
so
there's a particular tutorial about how you drop into a bowl, you know, in a skate park. And it's detailed instructions. You know, the bowl is, you know, most of them, they're about 5 feet. And you know, these steps, you plant the back of the board on the rim, you put your weight on the back, your back foot is facing 90 degrees, your front foot is forward. And then there comes this point where you have to commit 100% of you to your front foot. And basically what it means is you have to fall forward, head down, nothing, you just 100%. And if it's only 99% of you committed, you're gonna fall. You will not end up on the board at the bottom of the bowl. And those kinds of things, I think, are infinite examples of human expression and human excellence, of which the management of organizations is just one little piece. And I think we need to keep that kind of perspective in mind here.